The son of the alien princess ran away and hid behind me. Even the queen stayed. The day had begun like any other on Earth, with the sun spreading golden light over quiet streets and the wind brushing through trees. Yet for one human, everything was about to change. Alex was walking down the usual path to the park, his hands in his pockets, thinking about nothing in particular, when he felt something strange, a sudden, cold, soft presence behind him. At first, he thought it was a small child, lost and frightened. But when he turned around, he froze. A boy stood there, no older than 14, with hair that shimmered faintly like silver and eyes that glowed a soft, unusual green. His clothing was unlike anything Alex had seen before, tight, smooth, and almost liquid in texture, and it hummed faintly with energy. Before Alex could say anything, the boy darted forward and hid behind him, pressing himself close. The boy's small hands gripped Alex's shirt, and for a moment Alex felt like he had become part of someone else's life, someone who was in trouble, someone who needed him. "Don't let them find me," the boy whispered, his voice trembling but urgent. Alex's heart skipped a beat. Who are you?" he asked carefully, glancing around to see if anyone else was nearby. "They're after me," the boy said. I can't go back, not yet." Alex looked over his shoulder, but all he saw were regular people walking, joggers moving with headphones in their ears, and a few cyclists passing by. Nothing looked unusual, nothing threatening, at least not in a human sense. "Who's after you?" Alex asked. He tried to keep his voice calm, though inside he was already spinning with questions. "The palace, my family," the boy said quickly. I'm a prince," Alex blinked. "A prince like a real prince?" The boy nodded, biting his lip. "Yes. I didn't mean to run away, but I had to. My father and my mother, they don't understand. They want me to follow rules I can't follow. I need to hide, even if just for a little while." Alex's mind raced. He had always imagined meeting someone from another world, maybe in a dream, maybe in a story, but never like this, not running to him, hiding behind him, trembling with fear. And yet the boy's fear was real. Okay, Alex said slowly. "You can hide here." "But how did you get here? Where's your palace?" The boy looked down, embarrassed. "I came through a gate, a portal, it brought me here." Alex swallowed hard. A portal, a prince. Everything sounded impossible, but the boy's urgency made it real. He could see it in the boy's eyes, the plea for protection, the hope that someone human could understand. "All right," Alex said finally. "We'll figure this out, but we need to be careful. If someone sees you—" "They won't," the boy interrupted, shaking his head. "You're different. Humans, you have a way of blending in, of hiding. Even my mother, the queen, she stayed behind. She didn't come after me, but the others, they're fast. You have to help me." Alex didn't know what to say. The boy's words were filled with fear, but also trust. He could feel the boy's heartbeat against his back, fast and anxious. Something about it made Alex realize he had no choice. He couldn't turn away. "Okay," Alex said finally. "I'll help you, but first we need a plan." The boy nodded, relief washing over his features. "Thank you." "My name is Lior." "I'm Alex," he replied. "Now, Lior, let's get somewhere safe. Do you know where we can go?" Lior shook his head. "Not really. I thought humans were slow, small, and weak. But you're fast, you notice things. Maybe you can help me hide." Alex smiled faintly. "Well, I do know a few good hiding spots in the city. Come on." He led Lior down winding streets, through alleys, and finally into an old abandoned building that had once been a library. The front doors were locked, the windows dusty, but inside it was quiet, empty, and perfect for someone who needed to hide. Lior's eyes widened as he looked around. This will work. You're amazing. Humans, you really are clever." Alex laughed softly. "Clever or just lucky, but hey, we'll take it." For a few moments they sat in silence, the weight of the day settling over them. Lior's gaze wandered around the room, tracing the beams of sunlight that filtered through the grime on the windows, and Alex could see that even a prince needed a place to breathe. "You're not scared of me?" Lior asked finally, his voice small. Alex shook his head. "Not really." "Maybe a little confused, sure, but scared. No, you're a kid, you just need help, and I'm here for that." Lior smiled faintly, a mixture of relief and gratitude. "Thank you. Humans, I always thought you were fragile, weak, small, but you have something else. Something strong." Alex's heart warmed at the words. He had never thought of humans as particularly special, at least not compared to aliens who could fly or teleport or wield technology beyond imagination. But hearing Lior speak like that, it felt good. It felt like maybe humans were stronger than they realized. I guess we'll see how strong we are together, Alex said, looking out the window at the bustling city outside. But right now, we need a plan. You can't stay here forever, and whoever's after you, they're not going to give up. Lior nodded, looking serious for the first time since they had met. I know. They'll send someone, a scout, maybe more. My mother, the queen, she doesn't follow me, but they do. They'll try to find me even on Earth. Alex rubbed the back of his neck. Okay, step 1, make sure we're not followed. Step 2, figure out how to keep you safe. Step 3, I guess figure out how to get you home or somewhere safe. Lior leaned against the wall, exhausted but alert. It sounds impossible, but you think we can do it? Alex met his gaze. I know we can. Humans, we find ways. We adapt. We survive. And I'm not letting anyone hurt you while you're here. For a long moment, the two of them sat in silence, the sound of the city outside muted by the old building's walls. And for the first time that day, Lior felt a little less afraid. You know, Alex said, breaking the quiet, you could have picked a worse person to hide behind. I may not be a prince or a hero, but I do know how to keep a secret and a kid safe. Lior laughed softly, a sound like silver bells. I think you're braver than most humans I've seen, maybe braver than anyone on my planet, Alex grinned. Well, let's just hope my luck keeps up. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting the city in soft oranges and pinks, Alex and Lior sat together, two unlikely allies, beginning a journey that neither of them could have imagined. One was a human who had never faced anything beyond the ordinary, and the other was an alien prince who had run from everything he knew. Yet in that quiet room, hidden from the world, they discovered something that crossed galaxies and species, a simple truth. Courage, trust, and friendship were not bound by planets or crowns. And sometimes, the bravest thing a human could do was simply stand and protect someone who needed them. The day ended, but the adventure was only beginning. Somewhere out there, the queen watched silently, her presence both near and far, and the chase had only just begun. But for now, Alex and Lior were together, and for the first time the boy felt a little hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, he could be safe, even on Earth. The next morning, the city was alive with the hum of ordinary life. People hurried to work, children played in the parks, and cars honked in the distance. To Alex, it seemed peaceful, almost boring, compared to the storm that had entered his life the day before. Lior, the alien prince, was awake early, moving around the abandoned library cautiously, his silver hair catching the morning light. Alex watched him from across the room. You didn't sleep much, he said. Lior looked up, his green eyes wide with a mixture of worry and excitement. I can't. If they find me, he trailed off, shivering slightly. Alex nodded, understanding. We won't let that happen, I'll make sure of it, but we need to be smart today. You can't stay in one place too long. Lior nodded, his small hands clenching and unclenching. I know, I don't know how long I can hide. On my planet there are rules, protocols, guards, and I thought it was safe. But I learned that even inside my palace I could run, and no one would stop me, except for those who wanted me to leave. That's why I ran. Alex listened, fascinated. It was strange to think of a boy with all the privileges of royalty, yet terrified for his life. He realized something important. Strength didn't always come from power or technology. Sometimes it came from courage and hope, and Lior had both, even in his fear. All right, Alex said, finally standing. We need to plan your day. If someone comes looking, we have to be ready. Do you know anything about their technology? How they might find you? Lior shook his head. They have trackers, small devices that can follow me through space and time, even to Earth. I didn't think they would send them here, but they always do. My mother, she stays behind, but the others, they will come. They want me safe or under their control. Alex rubbed his forehead. Great. So invisible trackers that we can't see and probably some advanced alien scouts too. No problem, humans have a few tricks. Lior tilted his head. You sound confident. Alex smiled faintly. Confident enough to try, that's usually half the battle. They packed a few supplies, a backpack with food, water, and some basic tools Alex thought might help, and left the library. They needed to move, to blend in, and to make sure no one was following. As they stepped into the city, Alex felt the tension rise. Every passerby could be an alien scout in disguise, every shadow a potential threat. Lior stayed close behind him, hands gripping Alex's shirt. Humans, you notice everything. You see patterns, paths, openings. I think I understand why you survive where others fail. Alex laughed softly. That's a nice compliment from a prince. I'll try to live up to it. As they walked, Lior explained more about his world. The palace is huge, bigger than any city you've seen. There are towers that reach the clouds, gardens that float in midair, and rooms that change shape. My mother, the queen, she is very wise, very strict, but she also loves me. Even though she stayed behind, I know she does. But there are others, factions, who want to control the throne. I can't let them get to me. Alex nodded slowly. Sounds complicated. You've got politics, royalty, and intergalactic drama all wrapped up in your life. Lior's face darkened. It is. I just want to live even for a little while without someone controlling me. Humans, you live your lives freely. That's why I ran to you. I thought maybe you could help me understand freedom. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had never thought of humans as free in such a deep way. But Lior's words made him realize something. Being human meant making choices, even small ones, and sometimes courage was simply choosing what was right, no matter the danger. They moved through the city, ducking into busy streets, hiding behind market stalls, and taking alleys that twisted and turned. Alex led them to a series of places he knew well. Cafes where the owners would be friendly but not curious, parks with thick trees that could hide someone small, and rooftops that offered a view of the city below. As they paused on a rooftop overlooking a quiet street, Lior whispered, "Do you think they are close?" Alex squinted, scanning the horizon. Nothing moved that wasn't normal for the city. "Not yet," he said. "But they will come, you have to stay calm. They'll look for patterns, but we'll be ready." For a moment, Lior smiled, leaning slightly against Alex. "Humans, you are stronger than I thought. Even without powers, without gates, you survive." Alex shrugged. "We do what we can, and sometimes that's enough." Their brief moment of calm was broken when Lior's gaze sharpened. He pointed toward a distant plaza. "There, I see someone." Alex followed his line of sight and noticed a figure moving with purpose. It was tall, humanoid, but there was something off, something not human about the way it moved, too precise, too deliberate. Alex felt a chill. "They're here," Lior said softly. "One of them, a scout." Alex took a deep breath. "Okay, follow me, don't make a sound." They slipped through the streets, ducking into narrow alleys and behind parked vehicles. The scout moved quickly but seemed to search in patterns, scanning the city. Lior's fingers clutched Alex's arm. "They are faster than humans, right?" Alex nodded. "Probably. But we're clever, and that counts for a lot. Keep up." They led the scout on a chase through side streets, hiding when necessary, moving silently when they could. Every step tested Alex's knowledge of his city and his instincts. Lior marveled at how humans could think quickly, how Alex could improvise hiding spots and distractions with nothing but ordinary objects. Eventually, the scout stopped near a dead-end alley, scanning the surroundings. Alex and Lior held their breath, pressed against the walls of a nearby building. After a few tense minutes, the scout moved on, clearly confused. Lior exhaled slowly. You saved me." Alex shook his head. "We saved each other, you trust me, and I trust you." "That's what matters." Lior's green eyes softened. I never thought I would find someone like you. On my planet, even friends can betray you. But humans, you are different." Alex smiled faintly. "Different in a good way, I hope." As the day wore on, they found a small park hidden between tall buildings. Alex led Lior to a bench under a tree where they could rest and plan their next steps. Lior sat quietly, watching the people around them. "They won't stop looking," he said finally. "They will search the city, the planet, even the stars. My mother, the queen, she stayed behind. But they are relentless." Alex nodded. "Then we'll be relentless too. We'll think ahead, hide well, and keep moving. Humans aren't the fastest or the strongest, but we survive. And I'm not letting anyone take you while you're with me." Lior leaned back, his expression thoughtful. I think I understand why humans are so admired. You protect each other, even without powers, even without gates or ships. That is courage." Alex felt a surge of pride, though he tried not to show it. "It's not just me, it's all humans. We help each other because it's the right thing to do, and right now, the right thing to do is keep you safe." The afternoon passed quietly. They shared small meals Alex had packed, water and fruit from nearby stores. Lior asked questions about Earth, about humans, about Alex's life. In turn, Alex asked about the alien world, the palace, the queen, and the strange customs of another planet. They laughed at the differences, marveled at the similarities, and slowly a bond formed that neither had expected. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the city, Lior stood and looked toward the horizon. "I can feel it," he said softly. They are closer. Someone is coming. I think it's the Queen. Alex's stomach tightened. The Queen, the mother of a prince, a powerful figure across galaxies, was coming. He didn't know if she would be angry, disappointed, or something else. But he knew one thing. He couldn't let her see Lior in fear. He couldn't let anyone make the boy feel small or powerless. When the first shimmer of light appeared above the rooftops, Alex placed a hand on Lior's shoulder. Whatever happens, we stay calm. We show them that fear doesn't control us, that humans, we survive, we protect, we fight with our minds, not just our hands. Lior nodded, taking a deep breath. I trust you. The light grew brighter, and for the first time Alex saw her, the Queen. She hovered above the city in a sleek craft, her presence both regal and commanding. She did not attack. She did not demand. She watched. Her eyes scanned the streets, searching not for punishment, but for the boy she loved. Alex stood beside Lior, feeling the weight of the moment. She's not like the others, he whispered. She's watching, but she's not here to hurt you. Maybe she'll understand. Lior's small hand gripped Alex's. Even if she doesn't, I have you. And in that moment, Alex realized something extraordinary. Humanity might not have alien technology, might not have floating palaces or intergalactic fleets, but humans had something just as powerful: courage, loyalty, and the ability to inspire trust. And right now, that was enough. The evening city glittered as the lights flickered on, casting a warm glow over streets and rooftops. Alex and Lior crouched behind a tall wall, their breaths steady but hearts racing. Above them, the Queen's sleek craft hovered silently, scanning the city with her piercing green eyes. Lior shivered slightly. I've never seen anyone like her, Lior whispered, his voice almost trembling. Even my father, he isn't like this. She's magnificent, but also strict. I'm scared. Alex placed a reassuring hand on the boy's shoulder. Scared is okay. What matters is that you don't let fear decide your next move. Humans, we've survived a lot because we think, not just react. Lior nodded, his small hands tightening on Alex's. I understand. But she is the Queen. She could take me back instantly, and I don't want to go back yet. Alex gave a small smile. Then we won't let that happen. We'll show her that you are brave, clever, and capable of making your own choices. They watched from the shadows as the Queen's craft hovered over the street below. She had not moved closer, not sent anyone down, not used weapons. She was simply observing, waiting, and somehow Alex could tell she was trying to understand. Lior's mother, though powerful, was not here to punish him. She was trying to see who he had become outside the palace walls. We need a plan, Alex whispered. If she wants to communicate, we have to be ready. If she thinks you are hiding, she might think you are in danger. But if we show her confidence, maybe she'll trust us. Lior took a deep breath. Confidence, I can do that. I will try. Alex led him down a narrow alley that opened onto a small park. They paused behind a fountain, the water sparkling under the city lights. Lior peeked over the edge, spotting the Queen still hovering above, scanning carefully. She's not angry, he whispered. Not yet, Alex nodded. Then we have a chance. Let's try something. He motioned for Lior to follow him. Together, they moved to the center of the park, staying in the light but careful to show they meant no harm. Above them, the Queen's craft slowly descended, coming closer without landing. Her eyes remained on Lior, and Alex noticed the faintest curve of her lips. She was curious, trying to understand this strange human who had protected her son. Lior stepped forward, nervously but determined. Mother, he said softly, I ran, but I am safe with him. He gestured toward Alex. The Queen's eyes softened slightly. You chose to trust a human? She asked, her voice calm but commanding. Alex swallowed. He had expected questions, perhaps suspicion, but not direct conversation with a queen from another world. Yes, he said firmly. He trusted me and I am keeping him safe, that is all. The Queen studied him, her gaze sharp but not unkind. Humans, you survive against impossible odds, don't you? Alex nodded. We do. We think, we adapt, and we protect those who need us. That's how we survive. Lior's eyes widened. Even your world, you survive without flying ships or magic gates, just your minds and hearts. Alex smiled faintly. Exactly, and that's what matters. Courage, loyalty, trust, those are more powerful than any technology. For a long moment, the Queen remained silent, studying both of them. Then, with a slight tilt of her head, she spoke again. You are different from the others my son has known. You do not fear him, and yet you respect him. That is rare. Alex nodded. He is brave, smart, and capable, but even the brave need help sometimes. That's where I come in. The queen's eyes lingered on Lior. "You have changed," she said softly, almost to herself. "I can see it in you. You are no longer only my son." "You have learned something outside the palace, something human," Lior blinked. I think so. He teaches me. He shows me courage, patience, trust. I didn't know humans could do that." Alex chuckled. "We can, it's just that sometimes you have to let us show you." The queen's craft hovered silently for a moment longer, then she tilted slightly, speaking directly to Alex. "You have protected him in ways I cannot. My son trusts you. That is a gift. Few humans could have earned it." Alex's chest swelled slightly at the praise. "I'm just doing what's right, that's all," Lior smiled faintly. "Even a human can be extraordinary," he whispered to Alex. Alex grinned. "And so can a prince who learns to trust humans." The queen finally descended slightly closer, though she did not land. "I will not take him back yet," she said. "He must learn, he must grow, but I will watch. I will ensure his safety. You must understand that my presence is not a threat, but a promise. You protect him, and I will respect that." Alex nodded. "We understand. And we will keep him safe, no matter what." Lior felt a strange warmth in his chest. For the first time since running from the palace, he felt truly understood. The queen's presence, though immense, was not frightening. She was not a threat. She was a mother watching, learning, and trusting him to make his own choices with the help of a human. As the queen hovered silently above, Alex and Lior found a quiet spot in the park to sit. "I think she's impressed," Lior said softly. "Even though I ran, she's not angry." "She stayed, she didn't punish me," Alex nodded. "She saw something in us, courage, trust, loyalty. Those things matter more than rules or titles. That's why she didn't act like the others, and it's why we survived today." Lior leaned back against Alex, exhausted but calm. "Humans, you are different. I feel safe with you, even when the queen is watching." Alex smiled. "That's because humans protect each other. We might not have ships or powers, but we have heart, and that's enough." For the rest of the evening, they remained in the park, talking quietly, sharing stories of Earth and of Lior's alien world. Alex taught Lior about simple human inventions, about games, about the small joys that made life meaningful. Lior, in turn, told Alex about the palace, about floating gardens, corridors that changed shape, and the strange customs of royalty. Even with the queen nearby, there was a sense of calm. She hovered silently, observing, and occasionally sending a soft pulse of energy as if communicating without words. Lior felt her presence not as a command, but as reassurance. Alex realized that the queen was learning something too, that humans, even without advanced technology, had a strength that inspired respect. As night fell, the city lights shimmered on the water of a nearby fountain. Lior stood, stretching his small frame. "Tomorrow, I must keep moving. I can't stay in one place for too long, but I will not run alone. I trust you." Alex nodded. "We'll plan our route. We'll use the city, the buildings, everything we know, and we'll be ready. Humans survive because we adapt, and we will adapt together." Lior smiled faintly, his fears eased by Alex's confidence. I didn't know humans could teach me so much, about courage, about trust, about freedom." Alex shrugged. "It's what we do. Humans aren't perfect, but we try, and sometimes that's enough to inspire even a prince to believe in himself." The queen's craft slowly lifted into the night sky, hovering for a moment above them. Lior looked up, eyes wide. She stayed. She didn't take me back." She trusts you," Alex smiled. "Not just me, she trusts humans, and that trust is powerful, remember that." Lior nodded, feeling a warmth he had never experienced before. For the first time since leaving the palace, he felt hope, not just for survival, but for understanding, for learning, and for the future. He had a human by his side, and the queen, though distant, was not an enemy. As the night deepened, Alex and Lior made their way back to the abandoned library. The city was quiet, peaceful, unaware of the extraordinary events that had taken place just beneath the surface. They settled into a small corner, sharing the small comforts of food and warmth. "You think she'll come back tomorrow?" Lior asked softly. Alex shrugged. "Maybe, or maybe she'll watch from afar, but whatever happens, we'll face it together. That's what humans do." Lior nodded, closing his eyes for a moment. Together. And for the first time since his escape, he felt a sense of peace. The queen had stayed, she had observed, and she had understood. And with Alex by his side, he knew he could face whatever challenges came next. The night was calm, but the city held its secrets. Somewhere in the distance, alien eyes watched, but they would have to wait. For now, humans had proven something extraordinary. Courage, loyalty, and trust could cross planets, species, and even the most powerful royal boundaries. And in that quiet, ordinary city, a boy from another world learned what it truly meant to be brave. Not with weapons, not with technology, but with the heart, the mind, and the bond of an unlikely friendship. The morning sun spread soft light across the city, painting the streets in gold and silver. Alex and Lior walked quietly through the narrow alleyways, moving with purpose but cautious. Lior's face, once filled with fear, now held determination. He had learned from Alex that courage was not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. Today, Alex said quietly, we need to be smarter than yesterday. The Queen watched last night and the scouts might be back, but we have an advantage. They don't know how humans think. Lior nodded, adjusting the small pack he carried. Humans, you see possibilities where others see danger. I think I am beginning to understand why you survive. Alex smiled faintly. That's the first lesson. The second is to always trust your instincts. Sometimes your eyes and your heart see things your mind doesn't. They reached a small plaza where vendors had just begun setting up for the morning. Alex led Lior to a quiet corner behind a fountain, hidden from view but with a clear sightline to the street entrances. We wait here for a moment. Watch, observe, and learn. Humans often survive by noticing what others overlook. Lior's green eyes scanned the plaza. I think I can do that. I can watch like you do. They sat in silence for a few minutes. The city moved around them, ordinary in every way, yet the boy from another world could sense the tension. He was learning that bravery was quiet sometimes, and patience was a tool stronger than any weapon. Suddenly, a subtle shimmer caught Lior's attention. Something moved in the shadow of a nearby building just beyond the reach of the plaza lights. Alex, there, he whispered. Alex leaned forward, observing carefully. Good eyes, that's one of the scouts, probably sent to see if we stayed in the same place. The scout didn't move forward immediately. It hovered slightly, scanning the plaza, its presence precise and deliberate. Lior felt a flicker of fear, but Alex's calm reassured him. Don't panic, Alex whispered. Notice what it does, and we will use that. Lior took a deep breath and focused. He watched the scout move, noting its pattern, its pauses, the way it tilted slightly when it tried to see behind objects. Alex nodded approvingly. Exactly, you're learning fast. Alex reached into his backpack and pulled out a small mirror. We'll create a distraction. Humans sometimes use light and reflection to confuse things that can't think the way we do. Watch carefully. They positioned the mirror so that the sunlight reflected onto a wall a few feet away from them. The scout paused, its sensors detecting the sudden movement, tilting its head to analyze. Lior watched, fascinated, as the scout moved toward the reflection, completely ignoring Alex and Lior's hiding place. It worked, Lior whispered, a hint of awe in his voice. Humans, you really do think differently. Clever, amazing, Alex smiled. That's right, we use our brains first, not just strength or speed, and you watching, learning, that's what will make you brave and capable too. After a few more minutes, the scout finally moved on, confused and misled by the reflections and shadows. Lior exhaled, feeling both relief and pride. I did it. I saw, I noticed, and we stayed hidden. Alex patted his shoulder. Exactly, that's courage in action. Bravery isn't rushing into danger. It's thinking, acting carefully, and protecting those who need it. As they moved through the plaza, blending with the morning crowd, Lior's confidence grew. He began noticing small details, a shadow where a person could hide, a pattern of movement in the air, the way a street curved to give them cover. Alex watched, impressed. The boy was learning quickly, adapting, thinking like a human. Alex, Lior said softly, I feel stronger. Not just because you protect me, but because I am learning. I can think, plan, and see. Alex smiled. That's right. Humans survive because we use our minds, hearts, and instincts. You're learning to be brave, not just running away. That's what matters. They continued moving through the city, eventually reaching a quiet rooftop that overlooked the park from the previous evening. From there, they could see the scout moving slowly below, still searching. Alex gestured to Lior to stay low. We're going to show them another trick. Alex pulled out a few small, ordinary objects, stones, sticks, and a piece of cloth. He arranged them in a way that, from a distance, would look like shadows moving, like two figures hiding in the park. Lior watched intently, understanding the plan. When the scout came closer, it paused. Its sensors detected movement among the shadows. It adjusted its approach, following the false trail. Lior's green eyes widened. You tricked it again. Humans, you're extraordinary, Alex shrugged. We survive by thinking differently. And you're learning too. That's what makes you special. You're brave, clever, and capable. After the scout moved on, Lior leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. I never thought running could be empowering. I thought it meant fear. But now I see it can mean learning, seeing, surviving, being brave. Alex nodded. Exactly. Courage isn't just about fighting. It's about thinking, adapting, and trusting yourself and others. As the afternoon passed, they found a quiet rooftop garden, a hidden spot atop a building filled with flowers and small trees. Lior marveled at the greenery, unlike anything he had seen in the palace. Your world, it is strange, yet beautiful. Humans, you know how to create peace even in a city full of chaos. Alex smiled. We try, and sometimes that's what makes us strong. Even in the smallest things, gardens, friendship, trust, we survive. They rested for a while, sharing water and small snacks. Lior's gaze wandered to the sky, where the Queen's craft was visible as a faint silhouette against the setting sun. She is watching, Lior whispered. Not to capture me, but to see, to understand. Alex nodded. Yes. She trusts you because she sees what humans have taught you. Courage, loyalty, trust, even her son can learn from that. Lior smiled faintly. Even a prince can learn humility, even royalty can learn from humans. Alex laughed softly. Exactly. And that's what makes humans extraordinary. Not our strength, our speed, or our weapons. It's our minds, our hearts, our ability to inspire trust and courage. That's what the Queen is seeing too. As night fell, the city lights glimmered like stars scattered across the earth. Alex and Lior made their way to another hidden rooftop, this one overlooking the plaza from earlier. They needed to rest, plan for the next day, and stay vigilant. Lior looked over the city, a new sense of confidence growing within him. Tomorrow, he said quietly, we will move again. I want to learn more, to see more, to survive with you. Alex nodded. And we will. Humans adapt, we plan, and we protect. And you are learning all of that. You'll be ready for anything. Lior's eyes glimmered with determination. I think I am ready, not because I am not afraid, but because I can face fear, because I have someone I trust beside me. You, Alex, you make me stronger. Alex felt a warmth in his chest. And you make me proud. Humans survive because we help each other. And you are learning to survive too in ways that are extraordinary. As they settled down for the night, Lior's thoughts returned to the Queen. She had stayed observing, not judging. She had trusted him to grow and learn, even under human guidance. For the first time, he felt truly understood, not just by Alex, but by his mother, the Queen, who saw his bravery and curiosity. He closed his eyes, thinking of the day, the lessons learned, and the bond growing between him and Alex. Humans were remarkable. They had no magic gates, no royal status, no alien powers, yet they could teach courage, trust, and ingenuity in ways even the strongest could not ignore. The city outside slept, unaware of the extraordinary learning, planning, and bravery taking place above its streets. And for Lior, the night was not frightening, but full of hope. He had survived today, learned from a human, and begun to understand what courage truly meant. Above them, the Queen's craft hovered silently, watching, understanding, and perhaps learning from humans too. She had stayed even after her son had run away. She had observed not only his growth but the power of human ingenuity, courage, and trust. And she had made a choice, not to take him back, but to allow him to learn, to grow, and to survive. Alex looked at Lior and smiled. Tomorrow we keep going. We stay clever, we stay brave, and we survive. That's what humans do. Lior nodded, feeling the truth of the words. Yes, together. And in that quiet, hidden rooftop garden, under the stars of Earth and the faint glow of a distant alien craft, a boy from another world learned the most important lesson of all. That courage, trust, and human ingenuity could shine brighter than any power, technology, or royal command. And that sometimes surviving was the greatest adventure of all. The morning sun rose slowly over the city, painting the rooftops in soft shades of gold. Alex and Lior stood atop their favorite rooftop, looking down at the streets below. Today was different. The boy from another world no longer clung to fear. His small frame was straight, his green eyes alert, and there was a quiet strength in his gaze. He had learned much since arriving on Earth, not just about humans, but about himself. Today, Alex said, we make sure nothing surprises us. We move smart, we stay aware, and we stay brave. You've learned a lot, Lior, but today we put it all together. Lior nodded. I understand, I feel ready. Not because I'm not afraid, but because I know what to do now. And I trust you, Alex smiled. Good, trust is more powerful than fear, and you've got it. They moved through the city quietly, taking streets less traveled and hiding in shadows where necessary. Every step Lior took was careful, observant, and deliberate. He had learned from Alex how to read patterns, anticipate movements, and use his environment to his advantage. Unlike before, he no longer relied solely on Alex for protection. He was learning to be brave on his own. As they reached the plaza near the fountain where they had first outsmarted the scout, Alex whispered, "Watch closely. The Queen's scouts might be nearby. Remember everything you've learned, observe, think, and act." Lior crouched behind a low wall, scanning carefully. He noticed subtle movements, a flicker of light reflecting off a window, a shadow shifting among the trees. He recognized it immediately as another scout. "There," he whispered. "I see it," Alex nodded. "Good, now what do you do?" Lior thought for a moment. Then with a steady voice he said, "We don't run, we use what we know. We lead it away with the reflections, the shadows, the patterns it expects, but in the opposite direction." Alex's chest swelled with pride. The boy was thinking, planning, taking the lessons, and making them his own. "Exactly. Let's do it." They positioned mirrors and small objects to create false shadows, guiding the scout away from their hiding place. As the scout followed the illusions, Lior whispered instructions to Alex, adjusting angles and movements. Together, they worked as a team. The scout, confused by the clever human patterns and quick thinking, eventually drifted away, unable to locate them. Lior exhaled, a wide smile on his face. "We did it. I let it. I didn't just hide." Alex nodded. "Yes, you did. That's courage. That's thinking. That's what humans do, and now that's what you do too." As they moved through the city, Lior's confidence grew with each step. He noticed things Alex hadn't pointed out. The way wind moved a piece of cloth, the way light reflected off glass, the quiet hum of a generator that masked their movements. Every detail mattered, and he was learning to use them all. Finally, they reached a large rooftop overlooking the park from the first day. The view was breathtaking. The city stretched in every direction, alive with light and motion. And above them the Queen's craft appeared, descending slowly and gracefully, silent and imposing. Lior's heart beat faster, but he did not move back. He stood tall, his shoulders straight, his eyes meeting the faint glow of the Queen above. "She is here," Alex said softly. "Remember what you've learned, courage, trust, cleverness, show her who you've become." The Queen's craft hovered above, her presence commanding yet calm. She spoke, her voice echoing clearly despite the distance. "Lior, you have grown since I last saw you. Tell me, what have you learned?" Lior straightened, taking a deep breath. "I have learned that courage is not the absence of fear. I have learned that thinking carefully, observing closely, and using what you have can protect those you care about. And I have learned that trust is the most important power of all. I trust Alex, and through him I have learned to trust myself." The Queen's gaze softened. "You speak with wisdom beyond your years. Humans, they teach lessons that even royalty must learn. Alex, you have done more than protect my son. You have shown him strength, patience, and trust." Alex felt a warmth in his chest, but remained humble. "I just helped. The bravery was his all along. He learned to think, to act, and to be brave himself." The Queen descended slightly, her craft floating closer but still not landing. "Lior, today, I see that you are ready. You have taken the lessons of another world and made them your own. You are not only a prince, but someone who can survive, who can think, and who can lead." Lior's green eyes glimmered. I couldn't have done it without Alex. He showed me how humans survive, and I have learned." The Queen tilted her head, her eyes reflecting pride and warmth. "Then it seems I must acknowledge this human as more than a protector. You are a teacher, a guide, and a friend. Humanity, you inspire courage in those who need it most." Alex felt a sense of awe. He had never imagined that his small, ordinary life on Earth would lead him to this moment, recognized by an alien queen as someone extraordinary. But he also knew that the true hero was the boy beside him. Lior had grown, learned, and shown remarkable courage. The Queen's craft hovered silently for a moment longer. "You have both shown what it means to survive, to think, and to protect. That is more valuable than any technology, any palace, or any fleet. Humans, your ingenuity and courage are extraordinary." Lior smiled faintly, a mixture of pride and relief washing over him. I understand now. Courage, trust, cleverness, that is what makes humans and me strong," Alex nodded. Yes, and remember you have all those qualities inside you. You don't need to run from fear. You don't need to hide. You just need to think, trust, and act with heart. The queen's craft began to ascend slowly. I will return to the palace, but know this, my son is safe, he is brave, and he has learned what even I could not fully teach him. Humans, your ways are worthy of respect. Lior watched as the craft disappeared into the sky. She stayed, she watched, she trusted, and she saw me not as a child, not as a prince, but as someone capable. Alex smiled. Exactly, and that's what humans do. We survive, we protect, we inspire courage, and you've shown that bravery isn't about power. It's about heart, mind, and trust. They stayed on the rooftop for a long while, watching the city beneath them, quiet and ordinary but full of life. Lior felt something he hadn't felt since the day he ran, confidence, independence, and a sense of purpose. He realized that he didn't need to be a prince to be brave. He didn't need a palace to be strong. What mattered was courage, ingenuity, and the bonds he had formed. Alex, he said finally, thank you. Not just for protecting me, but for teaching me how to be brave, how to trust, and how to survive. I think I am ready for anything now. Alex patted his shoulder gently. You've always had it inside you, Lior. You just needed a little guidance to see it. That's what humans do. We help each other, and together we can face anything. Lior smiled, the first genuine, confident smile since arriving on Earth. Then let's face everything together. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the city in hues of orange and pink, Alex and Lior descended from the rooftop, walking side by side. The world around them was ordinary, yet extraordinary, because they had discovered something beyond technology, beyond royal status, beyond alien power. They had discovered courage, ingenuity, and trust, the kind of power that could change lives and inspire even the most powerful beings across the universe. The Queen's presence, though distant now, remained a quiet reminder. She had seen it all, the boy's growth, the human's cleverness, and the bond that had formed between them. She had stayed, observed, and trusted, allowing both Alex and Lior to demonstrate that true strength did not come from titles or weapons, but from the heart and mind. That night, as they settled back in the abandoned library, Lior looked at Alex with newfound determination. I have learned so much, not just about surviving, but about living. Humans, you survive, but you also teach others to live bravely. I want to do the same. Alex smiled, feeling proud beyond words. And you will. You've learned courage, trust, and cleverness. You've survived with heart and mind. That's all anyone can ask. And now, you can take that lesson anywhere, even back to your palace. Lior nodded. Even there, I will not just be a prince. I will be someone who inspires courage, who thinks carefully, who protects and trusts. I am ready. Alex placed a hand on Lior's shoulder. And I will always be proud of that. You are brave, clever, and extraordinary. Just like humanity. Outside, the city lights twinkled, the stars began to appear, and somewhere far above, the Queen observed from her craft. She had learned, too, from humans, from Alex, from the boy she loved. She understood that bravery was not in fleets or gates, but in courage, trust, and ingenuity. And she knew that her son, guided by a human, had discovered something truly remarkable. In that quiet city on Earth, two unlikely allies had shown the universe the truth. Humanity's greatest power was not weapons, not technology, not titles, but heart, mind, and the courage to act, protect, and inspire. And for Lior, the boy who had run away, and Alex, the human who had stood by him, the adventure had revealed a deeper truth. That together, they could face anything, survive anything, and grow beyond what anyone had imagined. Humanity had shined across galaxies, teaching a prince that courage, trust, and cleverness could change everything. And in that shining moment, under the stars, both human and alien knew one simple truth. Sometimes the bravest thing a human could do was simply stand, think, and protect. And that was enough.